Okay, everybody, here we go. We're going to Maine.
What is that stat?
Well, he's
on he's Twitch. I see.
And
yep,
over here, I show 0 viewers on Twitch.
Interesting.
So a little confusing. We're a little behind.
We're catching up.
3 and 2 and 1. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jenna, thank you. I did not mean to call your spouse Cupcake, but he is adorable. I'm not going to lie. Well, I'm a little embarrassed.
That was my favorite bartender in San Francisco. I walked in a place called the Lodge, and they had a 14-foot carved wood statue of Bigfoot, which in itself was impressive. And then the bar staff was all dressed up as like their own version of Boy Scouts brownies kind of a thing with the sash and everything, all done out to the hill. I'm like, I love this bar. Then I went up to get a drink, and the very goth bartender comes swinging up. She leans down on the counter and goes, "What can I get you, Cupcake?" And I was like, "Oh, I just got called Cupcake."
Well, I
Somebody's
remember,
getting a big tip.
So we had not been working together for too long at that point, and of course, he just mentioned he was still in San Francisco and all that jazz. And I was like, I mean, you have to go back. And then like 2 days later, he texted like, "Today I was pumpkin."
Yeah. Then I got
that too.
Then I got called Pumpkin. I'm like, I'm a regular. I'm not a complicated man, ladies and gentlemen.
So I'm very excited. Tonight we have finally found, we did the big move last year, and then we did a lot of clearing up of other things and moved from the warehouse and stuff like that. And oh, look, it looks like I'm totally bald. So
it looks like I'm totally bald too. That's the strangest
thing. And I couldn't find these hats at the beginning of December. And as I will mention to you, but most of you already know, I have spent a lot of time in the warehouse in the last 2 weeks. And I found them. So we're doing this. I have an elf hat on. Wait. See
got some elf ears. I like it.
See the ears? And then this is hard to manage. This, my mom and dad gave us both of these. And Scott has a classic little plaid Santa hat. So we're going to wear them till they're too hot. But I'm glad, Zippy, that you got to see it, because we're using all the Christmas dinner stuff for the rest of the month. It's going to be great.
In this episode, we have got a send-off to Junkie Rick Sarge Vinje. You guys get to see how the Rocktopi move, sort of. That I will put at the end because I'm switching back. I'll put that at the very end because there are some spoilers for a show. I might have a runny nose too. So you see me picking my nose. It's just live TV. It's the way it goes. So I'll save that to the very end, probably about 10 minutes before the hour. We've got Siglebrations. We've got Sigler merch updates. We've got Junkie picks and pup dates. Some beautiful Junkie pup date picks. Not that the Junkie picks are bad, but the pup date picks are magnificent.
One pup date pick. Oh my God, you guys.
Good stuff.
Going to be so fun.
This week we are celebrating Always Beating on Camera, and it's National Lemon Cupcake Day.
Yay! And I'm so busy. I did not have a chance to make lemon cupcakes, but these are lemon raspberry cupcakes that I bought today or yesterday, and they smell so good. And they have like they're lemon raspberry vegan cupcakes, and so they have like a little sprinkle and a little pink on top, and I'm going to try him too, but not right now because he's eating on camera right now. So I will tell you while he's eating on camera.
Step 1, rip off the booty. Step 2,
you do
turn the booty into the hat. Step 3, now you have a cupcake sandwich.
Cupcake sandwich. There's something wrong with my mic stand, but I'll soldier through. So let's see. We did that. We are also always, we recommend, or we make sure you guys know about every first Saturday of the month. Our good friend Steve, the Iceberg Rickyberg, hosts a 7-hour-long happy hour on our Zoom channel. And we pop in and out. Actually, Scott is almost always doing music on Saturday, so he very rarely, he'll be like a drive-by for 2 seconds. I really love it. I really enjoy it. Chris, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you for hanging out with me, or with all of us. So I will certainly pop in and out through the January 1st one. January 1st is, of course, New Year's Day. And I'm figuring, Steve and I talked about it, and we figured most folks will probably be at home and subdued if they went out. And if not, they're still just going to be at home because they're at home and safe.
Or put the football game on in the background if you're a New Year's Day football fan and hang out and chat, and it'll be great.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So that is the January 1st, coming up in just a few weeks. And then do you want to show them how to sign up for the newsletter?
Yes, I do.
We have that? We got that?
I think it'll work. There it is.
There it is.
I changed the way we set up the graphics. They're now coming from a little Mac Mini server that we have. Usually they're coming from the what do you call it? The native computer, the broadcast, whatever.
We have a production computer. Yeah.
The production computer that's sending the signal to you usually houses the graphics. So I'm switching that over to make it easier for 8-upload graphics. So you may see some oddness today, but if that is the case, that is the oddness. So
my brother is in the house too. Jude, Zippy's
my name
in the
is
house.
Jude. I ain't subdued.
Uh-oh.
Once I made crafts in high school and used glued like that. Yeah.
Jude, if you don't know, Jude is my brother. Our mom is Marian Radowski, who is also in the chat at the moment. And, it's been a pandemic for 2 years, so I love this little old home week moment that we're getting.
So, also, sign up for the newsletter. You get all the good stuff, and Facebook can't stop you from seeing me, which they are doing on the regular basis now, and it's gotten frustrating to the point where I'm just writing off Facebook altogether. So this is the place when you want to make sure you know what books are coming out when. That is a spot to do it. The other spot is send me a text at 619-304-2928. That will send you a text back asking if you want to confirm. Then you will say yes. Then we'll send you another text back saying you are now confirmed. And then every time I send out a message, you will get a text, except not today, sir, because I've had a rough day and I did not get the damn text out.
Although, and we do not have a graphic for this, but I'm going to shove it right in here because we got a big show for you guys. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Today, in this day in Siglerism, Scott had someone post... a doctor post that he was the most fit doctor on the planet back in 2016, I think it was. And in the doctor's letter saying that Scott was the most fit, it also said he eats iron ingots and fishing nails are pooped.
That's right. That's right. Finishing nails.
Finishing.
Pooping a fishing hook, which I have done. Don't ask.
Fishing. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Poop out a finishing nail,
barbed.
no big deal. But kind of they slide
bad.
right out.
Not barb.
All right.
I love every barb I know.
I'm moving on
barbs.
to, let's hold on.
Oh, no, I am having trouble with this puffball.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
And books and bang. There we go. Hit it, baby.
All right. So we still have T-shirts for sale. I am monitoring the T-shirts. As you guys know, this is a new system for us. It was a little bit of a learning curve. They are also having supply chain issues. So I am monitoring every day any T-shirt sale. There are now currently 3 of you who should have gotten their T-shirt shipped out, and your notification said that your T-shirt would ship out yesterday, and it didn't. And when they go in too long into production, I send an email to Printify saying, hey, you guys, can you check on this for me? Because it's Christmas, so if you can do anything, that would be awesome. And some of our distributors, some of our vendors around the world are having supply chain issues getting the products to print the T-shirt for you, partially because it's Christmas and partially because there's a pandemic. So I am keeping on that. Feel free at any moment to email me at info@emptyset if you're worried about it, especially if you were buying gifts for other people. Because if you were buying gifts for other people, we can't control it. It's not me going to the post office to get it to you in time. So I really can't help get it to you on time. But if it was a big junkie you were getting a gift for or something like that, just email me and maybe we can send an email saying, hey, your great good friend got you this cool Property of Kraken's T-shirt, but it's a little bit delayed because of, all the things, and that might serve instead. I don't know. But if you have any T-shirt issues, just email me at info@emptyset. If you didn't realize that we were selling T-shirts, every single T-shirt we've ever had for sale is currently on sale.
Genius wife figured this whole thing out. We have every T-shirt we've ever done, including this one, which I've ordered and I haven't got yet. I'm like, Mom, I want that damn T-shirt. Go, babe.
Actually, so we have every T-shirt that ScottSigler.com ever sold. We have many of the T-shirts that Scott E. Pond Designs. Visit them on Etsy at Scott E. Pond Designs. Also sold and still sells. May have some. And we have a couple Super Weapon T-shirts, which is Scott's current band. And he has his whole heart, and it should, because they're super fun. Getting ready, I think.
New video coming out.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The video is called Run. It's going to be out on January 11th. Therefore, Scott with a marketing degree, we're going to be pumping Run, Run, Run on 111. You heard it here first. Run, Run, Run on 111. This is the first video. This is the first video that I have directed for my cousin's band. I directed it. It is ludicrous. It is ridiculous and ludicrous, and there's a bunch of blood in it. And we had an absolute blast making this video. So you guys, we will be checking that out. Let's go back to Maine and there. Okay, we're very tiny. I'm already tiny enough. I don't need to make myself tinier.
It's not a problem.
Evo alert. Our friend Evo Terra of Simpler Media is cooking up some serious shenanigans in the world of what we do. It will be quite a while before you guys see it, but part of it whipping up the shenanigans is that you may see some weirdness in the feed. If you were subscribed, on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, etc., you may see weird things popping up, weird things popping out. Don't worry about it. You see anything weirdness, it's to be expected. Just want to give you a heads up on that. Baby, you ready for SIGLERations?
I am. This is a very tight hat. I'm just going
to... You can take it off. I will have to say, though, because I'm feeling a little Scroogey today for reasons of which I will get to. And because we have a very heartwarming episode of Monster of the Week coming up, I just want to give you guys a heads up that the chat icon this week is a little Krampus Santa Claus vomiting blood as he gets through the door. So you guys...
That seems very friendly.
You can check that out. Baby, please, SIGLERations.
Oh, well, we're going to start with Rick, I think, right? Weren't we starting with Rick?
Don't I have it? Hold on. Give us a second, you guys. Thought I had a whole separate content item for the gentleman.
Oh, you do.
I do?
Yeah, I lied to you.
Let's
I lied
do...
to you. So we'll do SIGLERations. So
knock out SIGLERations.
That first one.
Tribute to Rick Sarge Vinje is coming up. Also getting to see how the Rocktopi move is coming up later in the episode. Hit it, baby.
I need the photos.
The Junkie photos?
Yeah.
I thought SIGLERations were not the Junkie photos.
If they have photos, they're the Junkie photos.
Then I guess we got to make sure we do the Junkie photos.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
This is perfect timing. Great. So I have... we have a junkie. His name is Michael Grace. He's been a long-time junkie. He's a terrific guy. And he sent this in a while back. And this is his beautiful wife, Heather. And I will show you, or Scott will show you in a little bit after he calms Reese down. This is actually 4 days after she brought that child, her son, home, after having been in her second semester and being diagnosed with breast cancer. He says, we'll show you the pictures of the party, but he says on October 22nd, my wife Heather celebrated with friends and family 15 years cancer-free. We celebrate every 5 years, and they celebrate by having a pink party. Heather was pregnant when our doctor discovered a lump in January of 2006. He referred her to a surgeon for a biopsy, and the surgeon confirmed abnormal cells, which were cancer, and said, we're going to have to make some tough decisions with regard to her treatment, specifically talking about whether or not the pregnancy was viable. She referred us to the University of Michigan, saying they're just going to tell you the same thing when they asked for a second opinion. Long story short, they didn't tell them the same thing at all. It was stage 4 breast cancer at 31 years old and in her second trimester with her son. And so the treatment was they were going to remove the cancer by doing a mastectomy and numerous lymph node removals, recover from that, have a first round of chemo with just 2 drugs that were not necessarily going to damage the baby. Recovery after induced labor in July, a second round of chemo and radiation to finish out the year. And all went as planned except for the emergency C-section because the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck. And then Michael adds to the email, like we didn't have enough drama, which you certainly did. But fast forward to this next photo. This is this year's pink party, which took place in October. That one of those young, very tall men is the baby in the photo that had just come home at 4 days old that you just saw.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And Heather is the only woman in that picture, right in the middle, just as gorgeous as ever, but now with hair and a beautiful family. They have actually 4 sons. Only 2 of them are in this picture. Michael is I can't quite tell in this photo because I can't see with my stupid with my stupid glasses. There's one more, or my stupid contacts. There's one more photo, and that is her with her immediate family. And this is Michael all the way on the left who sent this note in.
You know why everybody thinks they're tall? Because she's short. I would like to hang out with her.
They are also tall. We have seen his son on this show on SIGLERinPLACE do really, really well at track meet in college.
Yes,
and he is a tall, fit young man.
Everyone is tall to me. That's why I'm hoping she's very short so we can hang out sometime and I can look tall.
But 15 years later, she is still cancer-free, and they still celebrate every 5 years by having a pink party, which I love very much. So Michael, Heather, and the entire Grace family, thank you so much for sharing, and we're so happy you're here. We want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's knock them out. Let's knock them all out. knock them out like a trout. There we go.
So this is my sweet goddaughter, Monroe. This is Monroe using the Christmas stocking as it seems reasonable to use a stocking.
It's called a stocking.
It's
for
called
God's
a
sakes.
stocking, and I feel like she's doing that exactly right. But I actually got that as a text last week, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. So there was a TV show once where somebody showed up to a party in a Christmas tree skirt. And I thought that was less logical because it doesn't really close. But this makes perfect sense. So I thought I would share it with you guys. And this is, as I mentioned, my cupcake, Daryl Harris. This is, you can see me in the background there shouting at somebody to do something. I'm so surprised. And Scott and Daryl together. And this is September 9th, 2012, the very night that Jenna Leah and Daryl and Scott and I met each other at the bookseller outside of Chicago. And when Jenna Leah sent this photo in, she also added the trip to the bar around the corner after the event was worth the big drive. I don't know if and when we'll ever get back to doing a thing like this, but I will let you know if you've never been to a Sigler Fest or a book signing. Scott always, after a book signing, goes to a bar real close to the bookstore, hangs out and drinks and tells stories and whatever until late with whoever wants to come and stay. Hopefully we can do that someday again, but not right now.
The rule is 3 Bud Lights and only 1, possibly 2 shots of Tuaca. That's it. If we're on a heavy tour, can't do any more. Also, baby, I love your hair in this picture. It's so fun. It was so fun.
You.
Okay, so is there one more, baby?
No, I think that's it. The next one is Rick, I think.
That is going back to Maine. Okay, now we're going to do the non-fun stuff is coming up, but the fun stuff, let's get back to that a little bit. We've got...
it's time for pup dates.
Come on with that.
Oh, come on. Look at her little snout.
My little heart, for God's sakes. Look at that tiny, tiny buddy. That, of course, is Reese Peace, the current dog of doom. There have been many. We have now 4 dogs of doom.
Currently in the house, we have 4 dogs of doom.
Number 3. Dogs 1 and 2 are no longer with us. They've moved on to the... Oh, I forgot that. Forgot to come up with it. They moved on to Everdoom. Mm-hmm. I guess we're going to go with that. And then, of course... The big pup pick this week would be A's Little Peanut, the codependent relationship that is A and Squeaks, and there's Squeaks.
Oh, this is one of my favorite. My absolute all-time favorite picture of Squeaks was taken by the goddamn dog sitter, and that's this one. I don't know if you can really see with the reflection, but I'll try. And I love it so much. This is my second all-time favorite because she's like, yeah, I'm sleeping on your desk when you're trying to work, and I keep pawing you in my sleep so you will pet me. And once I do pet her, she does this. She yawns and is like, why are you keeping me awake? Yeah. So that's a very good, cute puppy picture.
And then we have other people's pups.
We do. Okay.
Shoot, I screwed that
That's
up.
okay. I can go this way. Dude,
okay.
This is my favorite picture this week.
That's not a pet, though.
It doesn't matter. It's very cute.
Hey, David. Yeah.
So this Mike Weirs in Alaska sent this in, and he says, this week I would like to give a tuck date. Our Alaskan Sea Life Center got this harbor seal pup and has been rehabilitated through their program enough to swim with his fellow seals. Time will tell if he can be returned back into the wild, so send good vibes. Also, go Ice Storm. Which I love because of his little...
That's nice. Is it, what's his name? Tuck, you said?
Tuck. T-U-Q. I don't know if that's Tuck or Took.
When they sent Took there, did he go, no? Because they wanted to send him to rehab?
No.
No, although Let me explain the joke, everybody.
That'll help.
Okay.
I do like that Scott Pond commented, is that Sealford Brimley? Which is pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's better than mine, goddammit.
What a sweet little thing. So these next 2 photos are pups that live with Benjamin Erickson, longtime junkie. He said, love seeing dogs on your weekly show, as we have little ones ourselves and we foster for a couple of small dog rescues. I'm super glad now I know a specifically small dog rescue is a thing.
Nice, Chris.
And this photo is of Little Bit. And Little Bit,
come on.
Yeah, isn't that a sweet? And Little Bit has a sibling. If you show the next photo, that's Bo.
Oh my God!
Come on, Bo, with your tongue. Come on with your little blep. Come on. He said, Benjamin said he had been meaning to send in pics of our pups for a while. Same thing. If you guys have never sent in photos, or if you've sent in photos but you have some new cute ones, go ahead and send them to info@empties.net. We'll show them and talk about your sweet buddies who have been good to you on the pandemic, during the pandemic.
Okay, let's go. Hold on, baby. We're shaking the table too much.
Oh, that's what it was. I wasn't sure what that was about.
I know, of course, I want to hold your hand, but that was the subliminal, like, easy.
Yep.
But it should be fine now. It should be fine now.
Okie doke.
Right, we're moving on to books?
Yeah, do you want to do this one first?
Yeah, let's do this first.
So before we talk about our books, which we talk to you about every week, I wanted to show you one of your fellow junkies, Kurt Armbruster, has been taking classes to change his career. And he reached out to us a few months ago and said, hey, I have to build a website. Would it be okay to build this Scott Sigler kind of a fan page or whatever? And we said, of course. So he's used a lot of this collateral. Brand new, built from scratch. He's about to graduate, move out into the real world doing this sort of thing.
Look at that.
Isn't it the coolest thing?
A lot of you in the chat room right now can see your sexy faces in this picture. It's great. It's great. Go ahead, babe. Sorry.
So if you scroll over up at the top there to GFL Era, use the buttons. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. He said he's particularly proud, and he asked Scott for help with this animated bit of the galactic map. Scroll up a little bit. There you go. No, you missed it. There. Stop the round thing. There we go.
I see it spinning.
He's moving too fast to see it spin. So here's the thing. I don't know anything about web programming or programming in general, and I love this. If this is a class project, it's still super fun and cool to see. So we thought we would share it with you. Congratulations, Kurt. Such a big thing to do during the...
Look at that. Way to go, Kurt.
Yeah, during the pandemic especially. Whoa, hey.
We got to work on that coding a little bit.
Oh, look at this. I love the little nod to, okay, here are all my books.
Now, interesting side point is, look at that's anime too. Way to go. Dope. Yeah. Interesting side point, you guys, is I am scrolling what I consider to be scrolling down. A calls it scrolling up because of the way we have our trackpads configured. So when she wants to move the page down, she scrolls up. When I want to move the page down, I grab the slider and I pull it down. In the chat room, let me know whether when I move towards the lower end of the page, is this scrolling down or scrolling up to you? And we'll take an ad hoc poll, which I won't actually count. There's a lot of calls.
Kurt says keep scrolling down.
Thank you,
Kurt. Or whichever this way is. Oh, look at all this. How cool is this page?
Boop, boop. Oh, that's really dope. I like that a lot. Okay. Someone's working on their web skills. What's up? What's up? Got all the social media. And of course, for someone to say, hey, can I build a fan page to you? And I have to be like, geez, I don't like attention all that much.
He's very introvert. Very introvert.
I'm very shy, and I don't really like people building tome-like praises to me. So I was like, for you, I'll make an exception, though. It's okay, fine.
We're going to do one more. We got to stop on Bessie when we see her.
I think we saw that, but keep going. This, yeah. Just, she's got the zoom in. Working that zoom, dog. Get right in there. Sweet. Sweet. All right.
Very cool.
Now,
very cool.
We're going to go to books. Did you have something to say about Mount Fitzroy, babe?
I did. Well, only for books. We have Mount Fitzroy is now out. It's starting to ship. We have... Books have been received at Mysterious Galaxy today. They showed up today. We're going to go in and sign them. This is Mount Fitzroy, by the way. Mysterious Galaxy ordered extra copies. So if you haven't yet ordered and you live in the United States, they will ship to you. They are having the same issues that we had, shipping the Gangster with international shipping and pandemic stuff and the U.S. Post Office and all that stuff. So they have temporarily stopped shipping outside the country. So if you are in the in the United States and you would like a signed copy, Scott is going to go in on Friday and sign all the books that have been ordered. And if you are not inside the U.S. and you still want a copy and a personalization, here's the option. There's several. The easiest one is for you to email us at info@emptyset. That is the easiest way. You send a note. You say, I would like a book plate. I bought Mount Fitzroy or whichever other Sigler book from the book deposit somewhere outside of a place where he could sign it, and I would like a book plate. Those are free. You just get those.
Whoa. Stop for 1 second. What the hell happened there? That's weird. Go ahead, babe. Sorry.
You go ahead and just email info@emptyset with the. Can you turn it up a tiny bit?
Yeah.
With where you want it sent. And what your name is, and that you want your name in it, or whatever you want him to sign in it, sort of thing. That is no cost to you, no matter where you are in the world, because they are tiny and lightweight, and we will send them to you. Now, I am specifically talking about Fitzroy here, but if you are outside the U.S. or even in the U.S. and you have an unsigned book you would like a book plate for, feel free to email info@emptyset. specifically with these are the books I have. And these are the, if you want specific inscriptions or whatever. Now, one thing we can't do is tell Scott what to write. You can suggest what he should write, but you can't tell him what he's going to write.
Nobody tells me what to do.
And I would suggest if you're asking for him to sign, yes, my Buffalo Bills are my favorite football team.
It's not going to go well for you.
I'm not sure if you want that or don't want it to ask for it because it never goes well for you.
It's not going to go well for you. If you want me to sing the praises of the Detroit Lions, right about now that's also not going to go that well, but it goes better than ask me to sign for anything other than the effing Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
All right, so
we've got that.
Oh, we got to go to books.
We also have, of course, we're still really, really excited about the release of Mount Fitzroy, that the Stonewall seems to be doing so well. The Rookie has been so well reviewed by you guys. We're going to ask for that same thing again. If you read these stories and you really like them, it is really hard to beat a review on a public forum like Amazon or Goodreads or Audible.
Yep.
For Scott's books, because that helps us. When you sign on to any of these things and you're like, oh, if you liked this, you might like this. That's the way these algorithms work. So the more these get reviewed, the better it is for us.
Getting the impression there are people out there who have not yet read the Stonewalls.
Oh, sure.
Now, of course, as I always say, you don't need to read the novellas to enjoy the main chassis that is books 1 through 9. But I am telling you right now that it will help you a lot to read. The two things I think you need to read to get ready for book 7, Stonewalls and The Detective. Trust me, you should read those books. But like here, we have 252 ratings on this one. And then that's what we're trying to bump right now. So if you have, sorry guys, if you guys have read the Stonewalls review, because over here in Mount Fitzroy, we look at 3,100 ratings. You guys
awesome.
rock. You guys rock. But we've been pimping. We want you to review Fitzroy. We also want you to review the Stonewalls. So if you listen to Stonewalls on Audible, please go review it. And at any place you get, Goodreads, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com. Anytime you got 5 minutes, pour yourself a drink. Pretend I poured it for you, because I'm good at pouring drinks. Sit down and wax ecstatic about how great the books are. That helps move us forward in the world of sales and whatnot.
Melissa, we have at least 3 junkies who have done exactly that. 2 on the bosom, one on the hip, kind of.
Who I got one I signed right here.
Yeah,
It was right on the chest.
Right at the sternum.
Awesome.
On purpose. That was her ask. We had to get permission from the bar that we were at.
No. Stop. If we have time, we'll tell that story at the end.
Okay.
I would like to tell that story in its entirety.
Okay.
But going back to books, we got one more thing to cover here, you guys. Books. And of course, it is time for a GFL 7 update. Not much progress since last week, at least numbers-wise, but I've been going back and reworking a whole bunch of things. Why do I have that damn store icon up there? Hold on, let me get this. There we go. So I would say we're at 79% now, which is up 1% from last week, but a lot of behind-the-scenes tinkering going on. So you might say opening up the kimono, doing some tinkering, then retying the kimono. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought you said Komodo.
No.
And I was like,
no, I'm not touching a Komodo's privates. No.
And open up makes no sense.
I meant open the kimono to show the inner workings.
I just didn't. I have elf ears on.
But
sir.
I'm also not saying a Komodo can't wear a kimono. That's fine. But I don't judge what the Komodos want to wear. So a lot of work in the back. And then I will not lie to you guys. Today, 0 writing done. Today I got kicked in the literary nuts today, which I'm going to tell you about at the end of the show. And it has been a brutal day for me. Okay, baby. So and now we move on to, yes, now go
Monster
back to Maine. Nope. Oh yes, you're 100% right.
This coming week.
Yes, hit it, baby.
Monster of the Week on this coming Friday is the end of season 1 of Monster of the Week. It probably will come back next year, but if you want to catch the last episode of this season, join us Friday at 4 p.m. I'm always in the chat room. I'm never on camera, but Scott talks to a guest. This week's guest is author J.D. Netto, and he picked Krampus, and we watched Krampus last night, the movie Krampus last night. It was super fun. I'd already seen it. He had not.
Crazy movie.
And there were a couple of times where I was like sitting and smiling like a jackass, sort of knowing the ridiculousness that was coming. And he'd be like, what? And I'd be like, I got nothing to say. But it's a ridiculous, fun movie. And if you have watched it or can watch it before Friday, or you just want to join Monster of the Week on Friday at 4 p.m., you can find it at 4 p.m. Pacific time, exactly where you're watching this show right now.
And we're going to go into detail about not just the main Krampus monsters, so many monsters in this thing. And JD is a really, really hardworking how do you say this?
He's definitely creative.
But like there's creative in the fact that he writes books, but then there's also he is a budding business. Not a budding
an entrepreneur.
He is very much an entrepreneurial sort. He's kind of a kindred spirit to me. He built the Super Weapon website, for example. He does that on the side. He does art. He's ahead of the curve on new technology for books. And he's great. He's a great guy.
Absolutely creative in lots of ways. He's a great designer. He's a poet. He's a writer. He's a web designer.
He's a fashion plate.
A lot of things. He's a fashion plate. He's a really, really fun guy. And I have in my to be read pile coming up to the top. I have Henderbell.
Which we'll be talking about.
Oh, great. Yeah.
John Viscara, Amazon.com. Amazon Prime is where you can get Krampus. It was not on Netflix. Sorry about that, guys. Can't always do that. All right, now, you ready, babe?
Yes, I am.
Let's get back to the serious stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost a fellow. Yeah, time to take off the festive hats, babe?
Well, for me, because my head is too big. You can do whatever you want. My head is too big.
Well,
and
I'd love to
very
take
itchy.
this goddamn thing off.
Yeah, then do it. My mom doesn't like for me to say that I have a Charlie Brown head, but I kind of have a Charlie Brown head.
I have a light bulb head. We should get married.
I know. Well, good news. I'm already married to you.
Oh.
But we could get married again. I'm all for that.
You know what? Like, my brain is so shot. She could be like, hey, let's get married next week. I'd be like, that sounds awesome.
Wait a minute.
We're already married, but All right, ladies and gentlemen, now we have lost a junkie who has been with us from the very beginning. I think Rick was involved back in 2005 when it all got started. Saw him in the very first tours. Great guy, and he has passed on to Everdoom. And we wanted to take a moment. We can't, obviously, with the fan base, we can't always know when people have passed on, when people are having trouble.
Yeah,
we try and do what we can. But
yeah, and we've lost a few folks along the way who have really made an impact. And Sarge, of course, is one of these people. You might be familiar with the name and not know why. So I am going to read a little bit of a sort of junkie-specific obituary from a fellow junkie whose name is Brad Henry, who introduced Rick to the Siglerverse. And then Scott's going to take it from there. So Brad wrote in to say this. The Rick Vinje I knew was a man who loved his family and was a devoted father and husband. He was also a guy that was always willing to help a friend in need any way he could. Purely by accident, Rick and I became friends over our love of science fiction and fantasy. Then came the podcast, and I can proudly say that I introduced him to the FDO. He was sold, and we both happily plowed through each podcast and book as fast as we could, waiting on the other to finish whatever chapter or book we were reading to talk about it. Both times we had a chance to go to the cities to meet, they're in the Midwest, so the cities, to meet and talk to Scott and A. We went and we had a blast. I remember the very first time Rick was shocked that I would ask if I could have one of the wall ads at the bowling event and begging the manager to just please let me cut off the part with Sigler on it, and him finally giving in and giving it to me and then having Scott sign it, which I still have. He complained all the way home that he hadn't thought of that and he was mad he missed the chance. The second time was at a bookstore. He did the same thing, but Rick had done it beforehand, so Rick got it. And then he said, I remember his frustration when he had to pay me $5 when Scott allowed me to body press him. Yes, Rick is the one who made that famous bet.
Oh, I should have found that picture.
Yeah, we'll find it and post it. Yeah, and there's a video of it somewhere in Sigler Junkies, I think. I would take a picture of the signed bill and email it to him just to remind him every now and then. He got his revenge when he took a picture of his name in a Scott Sigler book and sent it to me. He never, ever let me live that one down. Rick was a friend who could bring a smile to your face and would gladly do it with his infectious laugh. He was a good friend, and I'm a better man for having known him. I'm thankful for what time I had. Just know that if Scott is ever back in Minnesota, he is going to feel a little empty not having Rick at my side.
That's true.
So thank you to Scott, and all the junkies who have shared anything with Jeannie, which is his wife, this past week, and shared their love and condolences. It really means a lot.
And this of course is recorded and stored on Facebook, so we'll have to make sure we get it to Jeannie. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't worry about that. Now, the reason you might know this name, even if you don't know the man, is because Rick Sarge Vinje was the actor within the context of the book, the actor who played Killian Carbonaro in the All Pro. And so I'm just going to read you a little bit. I assume everyone in here has read the All Pro. If you have not read the All Pro and the GFL, by all means, get out of here. Shut this down. You do not want to hear this. This is spoiler central.
We did kind of already just spoil it, though, by saying the actor.
Shit.
Anyhow. You guys are our friends. You'll forgive us for one little misstep.
All right, so you've been warned. You're stealing joy from your short life if you have not read through the GFL series and you listen to this, but that's okay. You do you. So this is the scene where Killian finds out that the person he's been looking for for his entire life, for everything that he can remember since the moment he has his first memories, he's been looking for this individual, and he thought he found that individual, and then Quentin found out he had been played by a very nefarious character who we will not mention right now. His name in the book is Killian Carbonaro. Killian slowly pushed himself to his butt, his feet in front of him, shoes resting in a puddle of his own blood. The man hurt physically. Of that, there was no question, considering the beating Quentin had lain down, but there was a deeper pain, a pain of the soul. It was just a job, he said through split lips. I'm an actor. Greedock offered me all this money. I got to pretend to be your dad. It was supposed to make you happy. Do I look happy? The man winced, flinched away. Quentin realized that he'd come off the metal counter and was standing over the beaten man, screaming the words, bloody fists clenched into weapons. He forced his hands open. What's your name? Rick, the man said. Rick Vinje. People call me Sarge. The man's name was Sarge. Somehow, that made it even worse. A normal man with a normal nickname. A man with a real past, a real life, a life that had never involved Quentin. Once again, Quentin Barnes was an orphan. He'd always been an orphan. That is the scene where Rick Vinje, we don't do this that much anymore, but back in the day, Rick was around even from the days of crack hits on the original ScottSigler.com site, actually the second ScottSigler.com site. Yeah?
I'm waving to let people know it's okay to unmute.
Oh, it's okay to unmute. And so we used to do this thing where before things spiraled out of control on us, where we thought we got like 2,000 or 3,000 people on the site. It's super fun, a bunch of cool people. So we initiated this thing called crack hits. The more you participate in the site, you got a little bit of crack for each comment, each feedback, etc. And we started to name characters based on how active people were on the site. Solid marketing, solid community building. Pat myself on the back for that, even though it wasn't my idea. I can't remember who was making the site at that time. If you remember, let me know. But somebody else's idea, which I was more than
Rogolinsky,
happy.
Right?
Paul Rogolinsky.
Yeah.
So we were doing that, and Sarge jumped up to the top, and he got named as a character, and we met him twice on tour. And now, of course, we are reserving character names for those who get Siglerism tattoos.
Yeah.
But Combat Cook Bradley Henry, Henry, the Combat Cook, also he's a member of the crew of the Crypt. And you'll be hearing from him very soon. Is there anything else I missed?
Yeah, I'll only say one other thing. I got an email early on in we were still Dark Overlord Media at the time. Mm-hmm. I got an email from Jeannie, his wife. And it was absolutely tongue-in-cheek. And I knew it right from the beginning. I wasn't at all worried, but I didn't know who she was talking about. But it was an email saying, listen, you seem like a very nice woman, but my husband can't stop talking about you. My husband talks about A, this, and A, real girl, that, and she's going to get this book done. And all you have to do is email her. And I just want to say, thank you so much. He's so happy that he can have and read the GFL books. And if I got to share my husband's love with somebody, I'm glad it's a woman like you. And I thought, okay, well, I knew right from the get-go that this wasn't tragic, but I didn't realize it was going to be so sweet. So I feel so badly for her to have to navigate this Christmas season, this next year, or whatever.
Right for Christmas, bummer.
So if you happen to be part of Sigler Junkies and you want to find that post from Brad Henry, I know that Jeannie's reading those every day.
We got some other stuff to cover. We got to move on, but I will say this is... I just texted. I got through this without dust in my eye, but it's dusty in here now. This is one of those weird things with the community that A and I and all of you have built over the past 15 years is I don't know that this is something a lot of authors and creators have to go through. But, we have kind of opened up our digital home, our physical home at times. We have established deeper connections with the core fan base, the people who want to be involved in Siglerism. And when you do that, you reap massive rewards by meeting all these wonderful people and getting closer to the people that you are trying to entertain and create things for. I won't even call it a drawback. The other side of that is that when you expand the breadth of people who you feel for when they move on or when they go through tragedy. And definitely, we met Rick physically twice, saw him online all the time, but he's part of the family. He was part of the family. He was immersed. And my tiny little bit for him is he will, as long as people are reading the Galactic Football League series, they will be reading about Sarge, and I think that is pretty cool. So before I bawl, I'm going to turn that shit off.
I'm just going to say one more thing, which is this. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about mental health is just as important as your physical health. And there is always a place for you to talk about what, that you need help or something that's wrong. Right. And this is the way that you know that this is real. We both only ever met Rick twice in person. In fact, I only met him once and he met him twice. And that doesn't mean that it's not a loss because we're friends.
Yep.
And that's always true.
Back to commercialism real quick. We've got the last of the None More Black Sunday sale is going on right now. And you want to tell them real quick about the mistake and then make it short because we got a lot of stuff to cover.
Yeah, of course. And we skipped this, so we'll have to go back to that. Okay. Or do you want to do that right now?
Can you do it right now, but fast?
Sure. So first we'll do a fulfillment update. All the gangsters that are, except for ones that came in the last 4 days, those have all shipped. If you haven't received your book, I have made every claim and waited 30 days. So if you still haven't received it, please ping me at info@emptyset so I can chase it down. What happens is I make a claim, they see if they can find the book, say, yes, it got delivered, whatever, and then I get the money back for that, and then I can send you a new book. So if you haven't gotten your copy of The Gangster, email info@emptyset. If you're in the United States and you haven't gotten your copy of the Galactic Map and you ordered in pre-order, so before October 1st, ping me at info@emptyset because that has maybe gone astray. If you ordered after October 1st, we are still fulfilling those because we had to get through the first bit first. So they may still be on there. Certainly those are still on the way, but certainly feel free to email me at info@emptyset about that too. Also, here's the big deal. We in the None More Black sale, we moved everything into a new warehouse in August, and we saw all those cases of books, and we inventoried them, and then we put the None More Black sale on right the week of Black Friday. We had cases of Pandemic, cases of Nocturnal, cases of Alight, and cases of Ancestor. And I found Pandemic, I found Ancestor, I found Alight. I kept looking and looking and looking, and yesterday I found all the cases of Nocturnal, and I took them out of the warehouse and I opened them up and they're all Pandemic. Sometime in the last 9 years, I mislabeled those. So this actually shouldn't even be up. That copy of Nocturnal.
Don't buy Nocturnal.
I don't think you can actually buy that. I don't know why he's being able to see it, but you can't buy that book. If you buy it, I'll have to refund it. I don't have them and I cannot get them, and it stinks. So the system, I have already refunded every sale of Nocturnal. So if you want to swap out Nocturnal for a different book, you say, oh, I was going to buy Nocturnal, but I'll buy Ancestor. Just go ahead and reorder it, and I'll get it out as soon as I can. I'm really bummed about this because I made the mistake sometime in the last 19 years and mislabeled, or 9 years and mislabeled those boxes, but at least we're going to get it done by Christmas.
My wife does not like to make mistakes.
I do not. And I hate to make this mistake before Christmas, especially. It's like we've already had enough of a year.
But
we don't need all this.
If you were buying Nocturnal as a Christmas present to spread the stank, Ancestor is in stock. It's exactly the same present, right? Did you already say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
all
I will say, when I posted this in Sigler Junkies yesterday, Rachel Ronan made my whole day, which was a terrible day yesterday, by saying, oh, so you're telling me there's tons more pandemic than you thought in 2021? Which made me very happy and a little bit sad inside. But yes, I screwed that up. So if you haven't gotten your books yet, they all are if they've not gone out today, they'll go out tomorrow. You will not get Nocturnal, but you should have had a refund.
We got about 10 minutes left. It's going to take me that much time to grouse about this. This is one of the more difficult things about being a creator is while it is obviously possible that people have ripped you off, 100%, especially when you're someone like me who has literally put out everything multiple times for free all over the internet. And, sometimes what might be perceived as theft of an idea is actually this person saw it, told this person who happens to work for this production, then that production's on, the next production comes and someone says about this, like, hey, I got an idea. And it's possible to draw a straight line between things, but very improbable. The more likely thing is, convergent evolution, which is just because you have an awesome, cool idea, that idea came from a set of sources that got you to the point where you had that idea. If you are a subsistence farmer in 1272, you don't have the kind of ideas I have for stories because none of that science exists. So there are people consuming the same science, watching the same movies, also crazy for monsters, also crazy for sci-fi, and a lot of the same inspirations can lead to similar creations. So that being said, this one's really hard because I've been working on this book for 30 years, and so I will read to you now what the Rocktopi look like. And then I'm going to show you a short video of a show that has something that looks exactly like what I created when I was striving. My goal is I want to find something that no one else has done. I want a monster that no one else has come up with. And despite, book sales are great, fans are great, all these things are great. One of my all-time goals is I want monsters to enter into the pantheon of Predator, Aliens, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Werewolf. Like at some point before I die or after I die, that's fine. My goal has always been, Ancestor is one of those. You see it, you recognize it, and 10-year-olds recognize it if they've never seen the movie or been exposed to source material because it's just prevalent. That has always been a primary goal, is to have a monster that enters the pantheon. So I'll read you now. This is the first description of the Rocktopi in Mount Fitzgerald. Or no, it's Earthcore. Yeah. Black spots, swear words coming up, do not find me. Black spots on their skin, or hide, or membrane, or whatever the fuck it was, on the round bodies, on the extruded, here then gone tentacles. Black spots that remained consistent, while red and orange flowed one way, yellow and green another, while brown ringed blue circles expanded and contracted. Purple and lime and gold and turquoise and pink and maroon, all fighting a mad war across tendrils that squished out, gripped the ground, then seemed to draw back into the body, like a video of squirting toothpaste being played in reverse. I'll read you that last line again. All fighting a mad war across tendrils that squished out, gripped the ground, then seemed to draw back into the body, like a video of squirting toothpaste being played in reverse. So now we will go to, this is footage from a show on Apple TV called Invasion. And initially, people had said, hey, the Invasion monsters look like your monsters. So I looked for a couple screen caps of Invasion. And it's a big three-legged mothership thing. I'm like, oh, okay, it's, ballpark that's sort of like a hatchling. I didn't give it a second thought. And then more and more of these things have been coming in more and more. So I went and looked at it today. And now there's no audio on this. And I'll pause the video at times. Let's switch over. I'm switching over to main, baby. This is what I took a highlight reel from a video on YouTube of creature design. And this is a Rocktopi, you guys. There's no question about it. That is exactly. Now this is where it differs. The show creators, the monster designers, say that their monster is a tesseract. It is something that can turn itself inside out. So those, what are those, like you get those balloons or those rubber balloons that are kind of like this. They slide in and out and roll along where the outside's the outside until it reaches the back, then the outside becomes the inside, then it comes up front, and the inside becomes the outside. So clearly not the same thing, but the actual way it moves, if you watch the rest of this, that is a goddamn Rocktopi. And here is the skin.
So the flashing lights, there or not there?
There's no color to this,
Yeah.
which, as someone who wears black all the time, much respect to the creature designers. But, the other thing that makes the Rocktopi unique, at least at the time I created them, unique in the world of monsters, is the very vibrant, flashing, clashing, unintelligent colors. They don't have leopard spots. Their pattern changes all the time on the outside. Their eyes are all on the outside, and they are amorphous. They are sort of an amoeba-based extruding pseudopods, and when reach out, grab a thing, pull yourself forward, and then when that pseudopod is now behind you, you retract it into the body to conserve your mass. And then some bitch gets toasted. Well. So we'll just watch this a couple times through. I got to pause it so we don't get a YouTube violation. But this has been a really rough creative day for me to see this. And now, the thing is, if Earthcore ever does get made into a show or a movie, which now, frankly, it won't. This is, we went through this with Infected.
We did.
With Infected, we were optioned by the people who are making Sherlock, Justified. What was the Masters of Sex? Yep. They were like, they had 11 shows on TV at one time. They were absolutely on top of their game. They optioned Infected, and then literally Guillermo del Toro's, what was that called? The Strain. Mm-hmm. The Strain came out. And even though The Strain is nothing like Infected, the basic concept of this is a disease that spreads that causes you to kill people, we were done. After 2 years of work, the marketplace dried up immediately, which is crazy because there's 17 NCISs on right now. But when it comes to monsters, so now we know this is absolutely, we will never see an Earthcore film. We will never see an Earthcore TV show. We'll never see an Earthcore anime. It's never going to happen because that is what the monsters look like. And now this moment has passed, ladies and gentlemen. And now so we just wanted to...
It's been a rough day for Scott.
Not, and Chris in the chat room is like, protect your work. We go through this all the time. I'll give you guys an inside scoop. There's a new Predator movie coming out, and it's not telling tales out of school because they've announced this. And when the movie comes out, I'll post the letter I sent to the publisher. I was being courted to do a story in a Predator anthology. And my idea was, and it was, the basic gist was we want Predators up against Ancient Warriors. So that was not my idea, although I loved it. I'm like, hey, how about we have a Apache? The Apaches were, when the Europeans brought horses over, and the American Indian tribes had never seen a horse, and it was like a nuclear weapon level technology change on the plains of America. And they didn't know how to handle it, and then along come the, should I say Apache? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Along come the Apache who are like, we're going to steal those horses, or we're going to figure out how to use those horses. And the Apache kingdom expanded massively throughout Kansas and throughout the Midwest because they learned how to use a technology that their contemporaries did not know how to use. And they were brutal, efficient, intelligent warriors. And they just took over huge tracts of land and killed a whole lot of people. So I said, wouldn't it be cool if we had an Apache woman with 3 children, no husband involved, and that grouping has to go up against a Predator who shows up pre-industrial. And the next Predator movie will be an Apache woman up against a Predator at exactly the same time frame as the story I pitched. So that seems like, you would hear that as someone who's not in the publishing industry or the film industry and go like, that's a slam dunk. You can sue for that, get a lawyer. And I bounced it off all of my entertainment attorneys and my agents. And keep in mind, I am not at all saying I got my idea ripped off. Because again, these ideas are all percolating out there.
Right.
But it's so specific and so close. Not even an Apache man and an Apache woman fighting him. So, and even then, the people in my camp are like, you got nothing unless you can draw a straight line. You send a proposal, you send a pitch to someone, and then they said no. And then later on, the stuff in your pitch shows up in their show. Even then, you've got like a 5 to 10% chance of getting any kind of justification. The industry is set up to protect the people who are actually making the movies, the people who are doing the TV.
Randy, nice to see you out there. I know we've corresponded this week, so very nice to see you out there. Say hello to your wife. Who I've also chatted with a lot. But I will say, yeah, this thing that you and Sherry are both saying, like, God, that is not how I saw it. Several of you are saying, agreed. But what Scott's saying is still true, because there is now that monster out there as an intellectual property idea. There will be people who would have or would not have financed a Rocktopi something, movie, TV show, whatever, who now will look at that and go like, yeah, I don't want that kind of heat. That's too close. Even if you guys know, okay, so the lights are not flashing and I didn't see the pseudopods as so spiky, it feels different to me. Agreed. Kind of doesn't matter.
It's dead. It's
kind of
literally, we just got a notice of deceasification for the entire Earthcore franchise. We've been in this business long enough, although we've never had a TV show made. It's gone. Mm-hmm. It's gone forever. It's never coming back. It's dead in the water, and that really sucks. We had somebody mention, Randy also mentioned, dude, Deep Impact went up against Armageddon. There's hope. That's different because when Deep Impact was being made, studios heard about it, and another studio said, we're going to rush out Armageddon, or vice versa, one of the two. As long as the thing is still in production, it hasn't gone to the screen yet, The Prestige and...
Oh, shoot.
There were two dark magician movies that came out at the same time, The Prestige and one other one. And they are not the same movie at all, but they're similar in look and feel and touch. So what you'll find is people who make movies are in a constant panic they're going to lose their job. Because within 5 years, they're going to lose their job. It's a brutal industry. So when you hear about somebody else has this great idea and they're making, oh my gosh, Universal just put $100 million into this film and you don't have films worth $100 million, you panic and you start scouring source material. I need a story about magicians. I need something dark.
The illusionists. Generally, yeah.
I need a story about like a turn of the century magician. I gotta give me something. They'll go find something, rush it into production, and then both movies are in production at the same time. Mm-hmm. And due to production delays, you can even beat the original movie out. That's okay. That's how the industry has always worked. It works that way. Procedural shows like NCIS don't count. You can repeat that as many times as you want. Feature-length movies are a different thing.
I will also address one more thing. David Lamb, you make a good point to protect your intellectual property. However, we do protect our intellectual property. It takes a lot of time and a lot of money and a handful of lawyers. And an intellectual property is an idea. And a movie is an entirely different thing. So again, even though we can prove that the intellectual property idea that is the Rocktopi belongs to Scott, and we know that that monster we just saw isn't exactly a Rocktopi. What happens in the business, and by the way, even if it's protected, your IP can only become a movie and get greenlit if, guess what? You share it. You have to share it, and you cannot prevent somebody from taking it, tweaking it, and using it. Because most of the time, as Scott earlier said, he's not saying somebody stole his idea, but, in Shakespeare's Richard III, the king at the time, in that play talks about there are no new ideas. There's just the retelling. And that was in the 1600s. So yes, protect your IP. Always protect your IP. We always do that. There is a difference between protecting your IP and getting the people with money to greenlight your idea if it's too similar to something else, because they don't want to fight a losing battle. So, yeah, now, we do that, but it's not enough to make Rocktopis happen.
Now we're in a situation where someone who wants, I want to do a moderate budget Earthcore series. This is great. Let's limit the amount of special effects since we can put the money, get the biggest bang for the buck. Not like a Game of Thrones, but like half a Game of Thrones, right? Mm-hmm. Now I've got people who are going to go out and raise. Game of Thrones was about $2 million an episode, I believe. So you got somebody who's going to go out and raise. We're going to raise $500,000 to $1 million per episode to shoot Earth Core as a miniseries, as a streaming series. The second they read it and like they're considering it, they're going to put it to their IP attorneys. Mm-hmm. Their IP attorneys are going to like, that monster looks like Apple. And do you think anyone in the world wants to go up against Apple lawyers?
Do you want that kind of heat?
No,
I can't afford that kind of heat.
Any smart business person anywhere in the world is going to look at this. I would love to do this. Clearly you were first. Clearly this is protected and safe. We'll probably get away with this. But in order to get away with this thing, we're going to have to spend X amount of dollars to take on Apple's bottomless pockets of lawyers. That is why Earth Core is dead and will never be out. And that totally sucks. I've only been working on it 30 years. No big deal. But that's it's a pretty rough day. Pretty rough day in the Sigler household. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go get high and drunk because that's the only answer to any of this shit right now.
So while we absolutely appreciate you guys commiserating with us, we always protect our IP. We are always working on things. One of the things that Scott didn't say is if we decided we were going to try to fight this or the Predator thing or whatever, literally one, we would lose. But before we would lose, every single bit of content that you get from us, every live show, every book, everything, every comment on Facebook, all of that would stop because we would spend all of our time doing that and we would lose. It's a reality of the business that we're in and we're trying to grow in. And we have a handful of author friends who have had similar experiences. Like, yeah, this is absolutely my idea. That's now somebody else's TV show. And things are so weird in however many people are creating content and however many ideas get swirled around that things are similar but different. And that's enough for Hollywood money people to not want to spend money on it.
It's literally, I mean, it's entirely possible and probable this has nothing to do with my IP. They came up with this monster, but they're so similar. It's possible, like I said, when I opened up this pity party segment, which is somebody listened to the podcast and then somebody's at the office like, oh, I heard about this cool monster, like sticks things out and brings it back in. It's like squishy and can stick things out and bring things back in. The person goes, oh, that's cool. Then another person randomly tells another person, that person happens to be on set, and then they tell it to them and it's in passing. And then someone's in a creature design workshop somewhere. Apple wants to do so. We need something. And I didn't say this. Massive props to this show for trying to come up with an alien that's actually alien. That is the bread and butter of my brand. The Sigler brand is you're not going to see an alien that's somebody with, yellow skin and bumpy stuff in the nose. We have humans with different color skin, but our aliens are truly different and alien. You will not see them on the bridge of the Star Trek Enterprise. They did this in the show. Like when I went to watch Avatar, I was so pumped up. I'm like, we're going to see James Cameron come up with an alien. It's going to be so alien. It's going to be awesome. He's going to make it emote. We're going to feel for it. No, it's giant Smurfs. Like that stuff is no good. This show really, really tried to come up with a true alien. Much credit to him. But it could be just, if there is any influence, it could be something that simple. This person told this person who forgot about it. Then they're in a design meeting like, what if we did this? It sticks things out. And then you get a bunch of smart people riffing on it and you wind up with this creature. So it's just the way it is.
I'll say this and then he can say whatever he wants and then we'll be done with this. If we are ever in a pitch meeting, which we've been to many and we'll go to a lot more, that will continue to happen. And somebody says, yeah, I just want something sort of like, I want like an alien that doesn't look like an alien. And I don't know, like an alien that lights up or shit. No holds barred, you guys. We will talk about Earth Core and Fitzroy. We will try to sell Earth Core and Fitzroy. But what Scott's saying now, which I appreciate you saying it's a pity party, but today is the day to do this. What Scott's saying now is even if there's somebody out there who loves the idea to get it all the way greenlit, because it's a huge budget, because it's got to be CGI, you can't make that. And if you make it practical, even more money, That's the problem. It's not that we won't continue to try and pitch it when the moment arises, but the likelihood, based on our own experience, which has only been, about 13 years, but that's a lot. The money guys, like the people who love it, will not be able to get it greenlit because they don't want heat about this monster.
Unfortunately, that is the entertainment industry, and that is, to some extent, American culture in general, is the party that can afford lawyers the longest wins. That's how it goes. And we can't afford those lawyers because we've never had the home run like George R. R. Martin could. And this is like to put in scale. If somebody ripped off one of George R. R. Martin's old works, he could probably afford lawyers to fight it.
Stephen King.
Probably. Stephen King could also probably afford lawyers. As rich and successful as those guys are.
I have a third.
Yeah.
What about Gaiman?
I believe Neil Gaiman at this point would be like, that's too bad. And he would just back into the bushes because Neil Gaiman, as successful as he is still going to be looking at that like, I'm going to spend this much money to fight this thing.
And this much time.
With no guarantee. And in fact, odds are I will not win this thing. A guy like Neil Gaiman is going to be like, oh, that's too bad. I'll go write something else.
Right. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that Gaiman doesn't have a day like this, like we've had. He's not going to fight it because he probably won't win because they'll say, well, this was already in the marketplace and I have no idea what you're talking about. And that looks too much like my monster.
Yeah.
You know? And if you're wondering, like, Chris, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but there are already sports football books out there. So there's an argument to be made that you can't really do anything about that either. So we're going to continue to sell whatever Hollywood wants to buy and keep putting our brand out there and keep putting Scott's beautiful work out there. But today is a disappointing day in this house.
But you guys are all awesome. So now we're gonna finish the show up and get the F out of here. And if you guys don't see me on social media tomorrow,
he's already made his plans for the evening.
Because I'm hungover and vomiting. Just so you know what's up.
My love, I'm so sorry, honey. So we were going to do some questions. We're obviously way over time for that. I would encourage all of you listening now, if you want to have a nice Christmas version of Sigler in Place next week, we're going to do our best to give that to you anyway. But if you want to share your Christmas trees, any presents, any hats, I know there are a lot of you who wear hats, and Jenny, Leah, and Daryl have shared a lot of hats with us that they wear every single day of the holiday season. If you want to send any Christmassy pictures, go ahead and do that, because next week we're going to sort of be Festivus is the following day, and Christmas Eve is the Friday right after that. So we're just going to be hanging out with you guys, probably having spiked eggnog and celebrating that we get, at the end of the second year of the pandemic, we have good friends like y'all to spend some time with when we can't see anybody else. So
all right.
Until then, so we are actually coming back next week. We will be here on the Wednesday.
We'll be back Wednesday, December 22nd, when we celebrate Festivus. Do we have a poll?
We have a poll.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many grievances we will air after today's show, but we'll do a little.
we have a poll. Can you write this down, baby? What
Sure.
we're going to do is A and I will do grievances against fictional characters. We're going to air grievances against fictional characters. When I say that, I am not at all shitting on the creators of any said fictional characters. I'm shitting on the fictional characters themselves for being shitty. It's going to be a great one. Spread the word, you junkies. I think you guys are going to have a good time at this episode, because I will get loud.
And if any of you have specific fictional characters you think need addressing down, info at Empty Set, you guys. I'll make Scott do a couple of those for sure. But as you guys know, I mean, we're headed into Omicron Christmas. We need you to stay safe, you guys.
We need you to stay smart, because we told you it wasn't over. And guess what? It's the charts are like this. Zoop! So, there we go.
We
stay
absolutely
smart.
need you to stay science.
And for the love of science, stay informed.
Thank you guys, especially
you
you new
yourself
guys.
A goddamn good IP lawyer, because
you new guys who joined us for the first time this week. Chris, it's nice to see you. Randy, it's nice to see you. A handful of you haven't been here that very much, and all of you who are here every week, we appreciate you so much. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week.
And for the love of science, stay informed, you sons of bitches.
I'm
Enjoy
ready to
your
kiss 'em.
Christmas.